Hi, today we're doing a special video. And before you ask, no, it's not another video on a character I haven't done in a while. That would be a little later. This one is what I want to do for long in my channel. Actually, almost the beginning of my channel. This one is a special one. This one is for my comic book series, Crazy World. And this is each character from that series alone. Now, this is a part 1 to part 3 series. Well, part 4, because it's part of the 4, now starting with 5 different eras of Crazy World. First part is focused on the characters from the classic era. You know, no, I don't mean my golden age, I mean the iconic characters from the 30s through the mid-70s. Started with the 1930s with Crazy World number 1, May 1934, with 3 characters. This first one is Mr. Calvin. He's an adventurer slash, well, anything in current years. Now we have 3 Mr. Calvins from 3 different universes, but that will be explained a little later. Now, the next character from the issue is a special one called Lavender. Now, this is a timeline video. It explains the characters throughout the timeline. Now, the next character from that issue was also the Robot Beast, later on known as Terraformer. Terraformer, or the Robot Beast, is a iconic, what used as such a kind of crazy bad guy that had to use him many times over. Minus issue number, that is 1 appearance. Minus few appearance. Terraformer had a lot of appearances, coming in over 800, and soon has his 801st appearance. Oh, in Crazy World Lore explains that a character cannot have anything beyond 700, 800, or beyond 900 appearances. If they have more than that, then that character is too much. So, the Crazy World Lore explains a rule of how many appearances a Crazy World character should have. Minus characters a few exceptions, but we get there. We have Crazy World number 2, June of 1934. Set almost weeks after the first issue, it introduced 2 characters this time around. Pickle Man and another bad guy known as Grumpus. The third issue, released in June of 1934, introduces 7 characters. The first of which was a The first of which was Tentacle Man. The others would later on be later the show in the 90s was Drawsaw and Nasodian. Nasodian is actually the guy with the weird wig thing. You don't know what I mean. However, she's three others, such as the Pickleback Bad Guy, Electrix. The reason why he has that name is because he tricks people with his electricity. The Hound, which is also a lavender bad guy. And not forget, the famous one is the Machine Clones, which later on also appeared in the 90s. Next we have issue 4, released in July of 1934. Well, for issue is July 4th one, released in August of 1934. So there's also two characters. The Unleashed character, Alpha Sauce, and the villainous Mr. Truck. This guy, the one I mentioned before, it's really supposed to be different, but since they keep the name, they decided to. Anyways, the fifth issue of the September of 1934 introduced again 7 characters. 6 3 of them are good guys, the other 3 are bad guys. But one of them is an in-between, later on become an in-between character. The good guys are Sneakus, Pound, and of course, people's interesting one, Corsati. The bad guys, the 3 bad guys I mentioned, are Lion Flight. He's of course, the Double Beast, and another one called the Boulder Machine. Obviously a machine that holds chains with boulders. But I did say one would become a little different than a hero villain. Well, one of that is it will become an anti-hero called Growler. Yes, Growler is actually the only one in the story later on become an anti-hero. Growler is actually another Mr. Calvin back guy, is what check that in. But he's a special one because he's not really, later on, he doesn't become a complete bad guy. Next is issue 6. It's October 1944. This introduces also free characters. Makaki, Rock, character in issue 7, released November 1944. This also introduced 5 characters. 3 characters are female. Dadasia, the famous one, 2B, and of course, not forget, the other ones are Mr. Strange, and of course, Munkin. Munkin is a crazy character who has his ways, but it's not a little too weird. Anyways, next is issue 8, following December 1944. Where was supposed to be almost the last characters, but then they started to more learn on. We almost do the end of the early days of Crazy World. The character of Itchy is also 3 characters. Oh, I got to mention, Crazy World lore also explains how many characters you need to introduce. Either 1 character, 3 characters, 5 or 7, or sometimes 8 characters. If you're feeling like you want to add the next one more. This introduced 1 character, the famous female character, originally known as Circa. This villain is not really what you think. It's another lavender one. So let's move on. So, January of 1945 is issue 9 of the Crazy World main series. This, unfortunately, it's the last of the early days of Crazy World. This last comic book of the almost, not really, since there are a couple more. Well, it is really the last one. This is just the 3 last characters of the early days of Crazy World. Jeez, the characters Frostman, and the 2 other ice characters, and another ice character, another female one, yes, who she is, and a snake-like character called Sagrastol. See, that 5 10 cents. Sagristol. Sagristol. Yeah. Kind of weird name for a character as a snake, right? Sagristol.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, his name actually means... Name actually means dangerous one.
Okay.
That's an explanation of why he's a bad guy. Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, that was part one of Crazy One character throughout the timeline. The early days. Next was part two, with the continuation of Crazy World, the classic era. See you next time. Bye.